Welcome to Talking Crue, a unofficial Motley Crue podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphrey, where I talk all things in the world of Motley Crue. This is episode 1, the intro slash me episode. More about that here in a little bit. Uh, this week in Motley News, on every episode, I'll talk about Motley News, past members, and the current band itself. So let's talk about John Corabi. John Corabi is on tour with former singer of Cinderella, Tom Kiefer, on the Live and Loud tour. John's actually the opening act, so if you see him coming to your town, go get your tickets and support them both. The actual band itself, there's a lot of it. Motley Crue just finished the European co-headlining stadium tour with Def Leppard. Uh, they did a lot of stuff before and during this European tour. They played a secret show in London, England, under the name Dogs of War, which is rumored to be one of the new songs on the upcoming Motley Crue album. They sold it out in less than 40 minutes. During this show, Motley's been doing what is called a rock medley, where they are playing like clips of different songs that they've recorded of cover songs. And in fact, at this show, they premiered You Got to Fight for Your Right to Party, which is a Beastie Boys song, which is also rumored to be on this new Motley album. While they were in Europe, Nicky had an interview saying that he and Vince were recording vocals for this new album. Uh, then, prior to doing the European tour, Nicky posted a picture on social media showing that him and the band were in the studio recording this new album along with legendary producer Bob Rock. When this album's coming out, I don't really know. I'm going to take a wild guess and say sometime next year. Um, let's see, what else? On August the 5th, Syracuse, New York, to be exact, the band, along with Def Leppard, are going to play this one plus 5 more shows in stadiums. So, check out Motley.com or DefLeppard.com to check out the listings of those shows. Uh, After those shows, they're actually going to take this co-headlining tour to Japan and Australia. Sounds like a huge, successful co-headlining tour. I think it actually got bigger than they thought it would be. But you got two fantastic bands. So, yeah, if you get a chance, go see this. So that's it. Motley News. This is episode 1, the intro slash me episode. On the debut episode of 1, I thought it would be a really good introduction of myself, plus kind of give you guys an idea of what's to come. Uh, I'm a Crue fan as myself, and I've been a huge Motley Crue fan for a long time. So let's get it started. How did I become a Motley Crue fan? It started, I want to say, mid to late 1986. I was spending the night at one of my cousin's house, and he had asked me if I wanted to watch some videos that he recorded on a VHS tape off of MTV, and I said yeah. And the first video I saw was Ozzy Osbourne's "Shot at the Dark," which is a phenomenal video and song. It's easily top 5 Ozzy songs for me. Then the second video that came out, or came on, I should say, was Motley Crue "Smoking in the Boys' Room." And when I watched it, my jaw just dropped to the floor. I couldn't believe what I'm seeing. And I kept asking him, "Who's this again?" He said, "Motley Crue." Now, who is this again? Motley Crue. So finally, he just wrote it down on a piece of paper and handed it to me. But I love the song. I got the little corny jokes here and there during the video. I just loved it. Then the third video that he showed me was Home Sweet Home, and this is Motley on the road. Uh, Different kind of song. It's a ballad, but yeah, you get to see him on the road, on the bus, on stage, the fire, the pyro, the Tommy swinging from a lighting truss, the girl lifting up her shirt, and Tommy looking and saying "wow" as the camera cuts over. So yeah, I just fell in love with it. And then a couple of weeks later, I called a radio station here in my hometown, and I requested them to play "Home Sweet Home," and told the DJ, "Can is there any way you can give me a heads up uh, when you're going to play this? Because I'm going to record it." So he said, "Yeah, no problem." And I sat there and I waited and I waited and I waited. And then finally the DJ goes, "This is by request. This is Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue. Press record." so, so I hit record, and the rest was history. As far as that goes, I played that song over and over. My little brother was sick of it. And then I started mowing yards, me and him, and when we were young, around in that time. And Girls, Girls, Girls album and song was getting played all over the place on local radio. And for my own money, I went, my mom and dad took me and my brother to the Hills, Hills, which is kind of like a Target slash kind of Kmart ish kind of store. And went to the music section and picked up Motley Crue's Theater of Pain on cassette, and Motley Crue's new album at that time, Girls, Girls, Girls. And I was standing there debating which one am I going to get. So I asked my little brother for some advice, and he said, "Get the new one. You can always come back and get the next one, or the old one." So yeah, for my own money, that's the very first album I ever bought was Motley Crue's "Girls, Girls, Girls," and I was a huge Motley fan from there on out. So that's how I became a Motley Crue fan. Favorite Motley Crue song? That's very difficult. "Smoking in the Boys' Room," "Red Hot," uh, "Too Fast for Love," "On with the Show." Just tons of them. "Home Sweet Home," of course. Um, "Home Sweet Home" is more my favorite, probably all time, because it hits me really hard when I hear the lyrics. And even today, I've got two kids from a previous marriage, and I got two step kids. So when I hear that song, I think of that. And so yeah, there you go. Question 3, have I ever met the band? I have never met Motley Crue. I would love to meet Motley Crue, although I'd probably be teary-eyed and handshaking and all that stuff. Now, I have had encounters with the band. The first one is on a radio show that was called Rockline. Rockline would have different bands and artists come on a radio show to basically promote whatever it is that they were selling. And fans could call in to Rockline and ask the band a question or artist. And so this is like 2005, 2006. So they were kind of promoting that we're going to release Carnival of Sins, the DVD. And I called and somehow got through. And I was a nervous wreck because the screener who takes the phone calls to see what your question is. And I was freaking out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to ask them?" So I was like, "Why ain't they playing Smoking in the Boys' Room?" That was my question. She says, "Okay, well they'll get to you when they can." So she puts me on hold, and I could hear the band on my phone And so that was just like freaking cool that the band was on my telephone. It was all four of them. I was just like freaking, freaking out. They never did get to me or my question, but it was still just really cool. Another encounter is my daughter is a really great artist, and she drew me some Motley Crue pictures, which I'll post later. Uh, there was one picture in particular. It was during the Saints of Los Angeles time period, and she drew out this picture for me and colored it and all this stuff. And I told her how much I loved it. She said, "I wonder what they would think." So I was like, "I don't know. Let's find out." So I took a screenshot of it and sent it to them on Twitter, each four members. I didn't hear nothing from Vince. I didn't hear nothing from Mick. I got a like from Nikki Six, and I got a like and a retweet from Tommy Lee. So I showed it to her, and yeah, she was beaming from ear to ear, and she still talks about that to this day. So that's another encounter. Another encounter, the third one, was on my birthday. I kept seeing, hey, it's my birthday. Can I get a like and a retweet? So from other people. And I was like, well, I'm going to give it a try. So it was my birthday, and I tweeted each band member, hey, it's my birthday. It would be a dream come true that my favorite band would like and retweet. So, again, I didn't hear nothing from Vince. I didn't hear nothing from Mick. I got a like from Tommy, and then I got a like, a retweet, and a response from Nikki Six. And he said, he wrote back, he said, never give up on your dreams. And I thought, that is the cool, that was the coolest thing ever. You're talking about, I don't even remember how old I was, but jumping up and down around the house, calling my kids, telling them, hey, check this out, check this out. Yeah, that was just freaking awesome. So anyway, that's why they're my favorite band. Okay, question 4. Have you ever seen them live? And I have seen them live in concert. I've seen them 3 times. I saw them twice on well, they called it, the first time I saw them, they called it the Red, White, and Crue / Better Alive Than Dead tour. It was the second time they did the reunion. I saw them in Greenville, South Carolina. I saw that show, which is basically the show that if you get the Carnival of Sins DVD, that's basically that same show, the way they did it. The second time I saw them, they renamed the tour to the Carnival of Sins tour. They played here in my hometown, and then the day before my birthday, so that was like my kid's birthday present to me. In Greenville, South Carolina, I sat in the Stevie Wonder section, but you could still see. Luckily, they had like video screens on each side of the stage. And then on the day before my birthday, they came here on the same tour. I was closer. I can't remember. I wanted to say 6th or 7th row, maybe. Maybe even closer. It was on Mick's side of the stage, and I was freaking out. I couldn't believe how close I was. But and they played a totally, completely different show. We'll talk about that future episodes down the road. And then the third time, the last time I've seen them, was the final tour. I took my brother, I drug him along to Nashville and see him on that show, and with Alice Cooper as the opening act, and that was just freaking phenomenal. I wanted to take my kids, but my ex at the time, she was like, they're too young to see Motley Crue, and she probably could have been right. I don't know, But yeah, so I've seen them 3 times. Okay, so what's next? There's my notes in case you don't know. What are the future episodes going to be? Okay, so I'm a big planner. I like to plan things out. I have planned a ton, a ton of episodes. I'm going to talk about the co-headlining tour. I'm going to talk about all the Motley Crue albums, including the live albums, Decade A Decadence, the 2 different versions of the greatest hits. I'll compare and contrast. I'm going to talk about like I said, all the Motley albums. I'm going to talk about the Dirt, the book, the Dirt, the movie, the Dirt, the soundtrack. I'm going to talk about the US Festival back in 1983. I'm going to talk about the Moscow Music Peace Festival from 1989. Yeah, just a lot of stuff. And then we got to get into the solo stuff. Vince's solo albums, his book, him being on TV, uh, Tommy Lee's solo stuff, Methods of Mayhem, in his solo songs, or albums, I should say, his book, Tommy Land. We're going to talk about all of Nicky's books, plus 1958, Brides of Destruction, 6 a.m., just to get started. John Corabi, we're going to talk about his supergroup band, Union. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about his new book. He's got a new book out called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. So, yeah, a lot of stuff. Can't wait. I'm so excited. So, with that being said, every Thursday I'm going to post a new episode right here on YouTube, or if you're watching this on the Facebook page, there is a Facebook page called Talking Crue. So if you want to join the Facebook page as well, join that. Let's see. On the Facebook one, I will post pictures of that current episode, kind of talk about what's going on, and I want you, my fellow Crue heads, to join in on the conversation. I want to hear from you guys. So hit the like and subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, like I said, join the Facebook page. It's called Talking Crue. And let's blow this thing up. Let's do it. Let's make it red hot. Every episode I assign homework, so this is no different. Episode 1. So your homework this week. How did you become a Motley Crue fan? I want to know. Let me know. What's your favorite Motley Crue song or songs? Like I said, I got a ton of them. So that's your homework, those 2 questions. I want to hear from you. Next week, next Thursday, is episode 2. I'm going to talk about the Motley Crue Def Leppard co-headlining tour. We're going to talk about the stage. We're going to talk about the set list. I'm even going to talk about Def Leppard's set list. I think Def Leppard's a great band. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, join the Facebook page called Talking Crue, and I'll see you guys next week. And you just took a wild on the wild side.